The green and gold again going international, this time making history by lifting off for South America to face Philly on Friday.
It's got to be exciting. I mean, it's something they're going to remember their whole life.
Whether it's seeing them out from the airport or tagging along for the trip of a lifetime, Packers fans are thrilled their team is on the world stage this week.
I think they're going to be really fun to watch and a little unpredictable, but that's okay.
The Green Bay Packers in Brazil, tops Action 2 News at 5. And good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. The Green Bay Packers making history tonight. The team about to land in Brazil had their first ever NFL game in South America.
Players that have seen boarding their flight this morning at Austin's Travel Airport. A small contingent of fans were there also to see them off. And take a look. We're tracking the Packers flight right now. Flightstats.com showing the plane is nearing Sao Paulo, expecting to land about 5:30 our time.
Action 2 News, the only TV station in Wisconsin in Brazil this week to cover the green and gold. Dave Schrader caught up with the fans also making the long trip.
Welcome to Brazil. The Packers are a big draw wherever they travel, and it's certainly a draw to follow them internationally for all the fans back home. It didn't take long for us to find green and gold at our airport gate in Orlando ahead of that long flight south of the equator. Where's the excitement level for this one compared to the trip to London?
I think it's pretty exciting because we've both never been to South America and both had been to Europe and London before, but you know, we're looking forward to it.
It's the first time there, so that makes it a little bit more exciting.
How adventurous are you with your palate? Do you stick to the steak and meat and potatoes, or do you try everything there is to offer at different places?
I eat the street food and try all the new things because that's what half the fun of going is for.
And how many countries have you been to total?
Oh, I don't even know if I can count that high. I don't have enough fingers and toes.
So what made you decide to go on this trip?
Well, because it was in South America, because it was the first game in Brazil, so that's why we decided to go. And it's our 40th wedding anniversary, so.
Congratulations.
We asked several people to go with us, and everybody backed out because of the cost and stuff, but he said, can we afford it? I'm like, yep, let's go. So that's all we did.
Dave Schrader has more on their approach from Brazil.
Welcome to week one. Last year, the Packers had their shortest trip of the year to start the season as they went to Chicago to kick off the Jordan Love era with a bang. But now it's their longest trip ever for a regular season game, more than 5,000 miles to Sao Paulo, Brazil. But these players are here to play a game, not to sightsee.
It's definitely wild that we going to Brazil our first game. But I'm happy we getting it out the way. You know, I'd much rather go, the first game than go like week 8.
Everybody know when it's game time is going to be ready. I just hope they got really good food.
Just dialing in, making sure that, we're doing everything we can to, prepare the way that we know we're supposed to. We've done a good job, throughout camp of doing so. It's got to keep it rolling. It's just a business trip. We're there to win a football game. So
Sao Paulo, Brazil is huge, and we saw that firsthand. It took nearly 2 hours in a shuttle to go from the airport to the hotel. The teams, they're set up. The Eagles are staying near the airport, which is closer to the stadium. The Packers staying downtown. As far as how this ranks in the world, it's the 4th largest city, more than 12 million residents in the city proper. That's about 1.5 times that of New York City, the biggest city in the U.S. And they have more than 20 million residents in the metro area out here. Both teams have left one player behind. The Packers leaving Aaron Mosby back in the States due to personal reasons. Linebacker Devin White not making the trip with the Philadelphia Eagles. On the injury report, through an estimated practice report, as the teams have really been on a plane all day, some updates. Tucker Kraft did not practice with a back, according to that report. The rookie running back Marshawn Lloyd was upgraded to a limited participant with his hamstring. Got all that? In Sao Paulo, Dave Schrader, Action 2 Sports.
He's in Sao Paulo with more on the positive reception from the local crowd.
In talking with Brazilian fans on the ground, they were telling me that the Packers are expected to have about probably 15,000 fans. The Eagles, 10,000 fans traveling from the U.S. But among all the Brazilian fans from here watching the game, a lot of them were swung to the Green Bay side after comments before the trip to South America. Of course, Eagles players talking with concern about the safety of this trip. The Packers kept it buttoned up for the most part, not saying too much on the topic, and that won over a lot of these fans.
It's been nothing but love since we got here. Fans were at the airport last night. They're at the hotel, so definitely a lot of love, and I'm excited to see what the atmosphere is like in the stadium tomorrow for the game. I know it's going to be rocking, so I'm very excited. I'm glad to hear that the Brazilians are all ready to be Packer fans now.
It's great to be here. Our experience down here has been nothing but positive. The only negative was a long flight. I mean, that's kind of out of the norm for us, but I would say since You know, we've only been here a short time, but the food, the people, everybody's been A+. So it's been a positive experience for us, and we're looking forward to it tomorrow. Hopefully all our Brazilian fans will show up tomorrow and be cheering on the green and gold, and you know, hopefully it's a home field advantage for us.
And Marcus Sevareid of Packers Brazil got to take in practice firsthand for the first time. He was loving every minute.
Yeah, it's been so amazing being here, and there's a lot of fans, Packers here, live watching us. So hi Brazil. Let me show you here. We're doing the same job here. This is Dave Schrader from ABC local in US. I don't know why I'm speaking English. I'm talking to Brazilian fans. Eu não sei que eu tô falando em português, eu tô transmitindo.
And the connections and stories of some of these South American reporters who are covering this event this week are really interesting. I ran into a guy named Luis, who is actually a foreign exchange student in Elkhorn, Wisconsin. This week, definitely a bucket list week for him. And then there is also Alejandro I met from Chile. Remember, this isn't just the first game in Brazil, it's the first NFL game in South America. He made the trip over here, and he became a Packers follower in 1995 when he got cable TV for the first time, wanted to watch The Simpsons, and found NFL football programming on ahead of time. He tuned in and never tuned out, became a big fan of Brett Favre. Now he's covering the team here in 2024. In Sao Paulo, Dave Schrader, Action 2 Sports.
We begin with exclusive reporting on the ground in Brazil. Dave Schrader joining us live from the stadium in Sao Paulo. Dave.
Hi, Bill. Hi, Cammie. Welcome to the start of yet another season. Here we go. The Packers can't wait to kick things off here in Sao Paulo, Brazil, so far from home. It was a special start to the end of last year, of course. Jordan Love red hot down the stretch. 18 touchdown passes, just one pick the last couple months. And then, of course, the Packers making it just a couple plays away from the NFC Championship game. After that, they've had to have this long off-season wait to try it again, and they'll get a chance to do so tonight. But speaking of long waits, the fans down here south of the equator have been salivating at a chance to see NFL football in their continent, in their country, and here in Brazil tonight, these fans are really excited for this one. And last night, Packers Brazil founder Marcos Rivera held a party for about 300 South American Packer fans, and it was a special night for him and those in attendance.
It's just amazing to have all these people around here, people from every place of Brazil and every place of the world. If I remember back in 2011, when I created the Packers Brazil, could I ever imagine something like that? Never. Could I ever imagine Packers coming here? Never. Could I ever imagine being talking with you guys? Never. So it's really emotional to have all this feeling, to have all these people together united here.
Of course, he was at the team's practice yesterday down there, so let's bring him in live now. We can really break this game down. Dave, it is very nice to see you from Sao Paulo. This is the first time the Packers have seen the stadium today. They haven't been there prior to when they got down there. I'm just curious, what are your impressions of that stadium? It is, in fact, a soccer stadium, and this is the first time they're playing NFL football in there.
Yep. Well, it's an older facility. It's not like a lot of the gaudy monstrosities of the NFL. It normally holds nearly 50,000 people. I think 50,000 was the most when they held the opening game of the World Cup here in 2014. It's a really cool venue in that it's got this sort of semi-roof over the top of it. Will can show you, our photographer. And there's fans all over the place in different NFL jerseys. We know with international games to expect not just fans of the two combatants in the contest, but of every NFL team, because it's a chance for these international fans who are fans of, say, the Chiefs or the Patriots or any number of teams to really tune this one in. I think it's really cool that they get to play in South America, in this city especially. Asia's got a lot of the biggest cities on earth, the top three. The biggest city outside of Asia is Sao Paulo, Brazil, and it is monstrous. I think what we'll see from that defense is an aggressive mentality, whether it's press man, whether it's more blitzes. I just think that they're going to get after the football in ways that they didn't. The biggest thing with a 4-3 versus a 3-4 isn't base, but because this NFL league is obviously a passing league these days, it's about pinning your ears back and getting upfield as a lineman. Hand in the dirt. Rashawn Gary says there's fewer false steps trying to get upfield when you start with your hand in the dirt. I'm excited to see the get off that Rashawn Gary demonstrated in training camp and the other guys along the line, and how can they really put the pressure on the quarterback to get the ball out quick and allow the guys on the back end like Xavier McKinney, Jair Alexander, and others to try to go get that ball.
Live from Sao Paulo, who got a few words with Murphy ahead of the matchup tonight. Dave.
Yes, welcome back to Brazil. More on Mark in a moment, but first the news of the moment. The inactives. The Packers had 3 players ruled questionable to play yesterday. 2 of those will play. Tight end Tucker Kraft as well as running back Emmanuel Wilson, though rookie running back Marshawn Lloyd will not be able to play today. Of course, the Packers debuting their new running back, their lead horse, Josh Jacobs. Today, I did catch up with Packers president Mark Murphy just a little bit ago.
We're really honored that the league chose us to be one of the 2 teams to play in the first game ever here, and it's been an eye-opening experience. I mean, none of us have been here before, and just see, and we were talking earlier, I have no idea how big Sao Paulo is. It just goes on and on and on, and it's really looking forward to the game tonight to see the kind of support and the atmosphere that we'll have here with the fans have just been great. To see them all over the city.
Yeah, Mark and I were talking off camera. From my hotel room, I was looking all around. I'm used to looking out one window and seeing there's the cityscape. You look every direction, north, south, east, and west. Huge buildings as far as the eye can see. It's the largest city outside of Asia. They say 20 plus million in the metro area. That's just crazy. So when you come down here and you have the logistics you have, what was the hardest part? Was it the 2-hour bus ride from the hotel?
Yeah, it was a little different than my commute from De Pere into the stadium. No, everything was a couple hours, and we had a police escort. But it's tremendous, and I think I think there's 40 million NFL fans here, so get used to it. There'll be a lot more games here.
Yeah, I'm talking about some of the stats coming up on the show that the NFL estimates. I think 38 million's the number here. And in London, 14 million. So like 2 or 3 times as many football fans in Brazil as the UK, and that's why the NFL is here. Thanks so much for your time, Mark, and good luck to the team tonight.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Right now, music is blaring and soccer-style chants are breaking out in what's becoming a party atmosphere. The rubber hits the road tonight. Matt LaFleur said part of its focus is going to be on the ground game on both sides, so they'll go a long way towards deciding. This one, Philly had 363 rushing yards on Green Bay 2 seasons ago. The Packers debuting Josh Jacobs, the Eagles debuting Saquon Barkley. Should be fun to watch. Reporting live in Sao Paulo, Brazil, Dave Schrader, Action 2 Sports.
Well, the Packers were unable to get the win last night in their season opener in Sao Paulo, Brazil, as the Packers lose to the Philadelphia Eagles 34-29. Dave Schrader has post-game reaction.
Here, 5,000 miles from home, that's not the start the Packers wanted to their 2024 season. Jordan Love going down injured on the final drive, and the Packers headed home with a loss. A long flight to think and ruminate on what transpired on this day. First and foremost, the thoughts on Jordan Love and his injury.
That was tough to see. I mean, that's the franchise right there. So, hopefully, he can be back next week and he'll be all right.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest. Whatever it is, I mean, we're going to back him 100%. I mean, we know what kind of guy he is, how he approaches everything. So, whatever it is, I know he's going to get through it. We're going to get through it.
But obviously, you don't want to see the leader of your team get hurt. So, we don't know the severity of his injury, but hopefully he's okay.
Things started well enough on defense. Jeff Hafley's team forced 2 turnovers on the first 2 series of the game, but they ended up giving up 34 points. And in the end, it was a 7.5-minute drive that drove the nails in the coffin, leaving the offense less than 30 seconds and no timeouts to try to pull off a miracle.
We just got to go out the field as a defense. That's the most frustrating part, but it's all fixable. We just got to go back, watch what happened, and make the corrections for next week.
We came close to beating a really good team, and I think the future is going to be bright for us moving forward.
The offense lamenting the fact that they only got 6 points on those 2 early takeaways. They also had 2 touchdowns called back in the first half.
No doubt. I mean, I think every single drive, every single bit of points that we left out there is important. I mean, the defense gave us opportunities early to run away with it a little bit, and we didn't execute as well as we should have.
Now the team heads home the long flight to get ready for the home opener next week with questions of who will start under center. Will it be Jordan Love or Malik Willis or Sean Clifford? A lot of unknowns right now as the Packers season starts 0-1. In Sao Paulo, Brazil, Dave Schrader, Action 2 Sports.